As we've mentioned, former President Trump will be holding a news conference just a few hours from now. And it comes as his running mate, JD Vance, campaigns on the notion that he's been front and center, answering questions from the media and calling out his opponents for not doing the same. And while Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to speak to workers at Union Hall in Detroit alongside her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, we don't know if they will take any questions from the press. Now, some of those closest to Harris say there is no rush, given that the Democratic National Convention is just a week and a half away and that they've had, quote, huge crowds at rallies, media coverage, and those rising poll numbers. So let's bring in NewsNation's Joe Khalil, who is live for us at the White House. Joe, what are you hearing about all of this?
Well, it is a pretty stark difference between the way these campaigns are running for both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Ever since Joe Biden announced he was not going to be the nominee, what we've seen from the Harris campaign is their candidate hit the campaign trail pretty hard. She's done a lot of events outside of the city. In fact, take a look here. 9 different rallies or events by our count since she became the nominee. Wilmington at the beginning to meet with her staff, and then a bunch of swing states, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Houston, Pittsfield, Atlanta, Houston, Philly, Detroit. But so far, despite all of that activity on the road, she has not done any press conferences, any sit-down interviews, any opportunity for reporters to actually ask her questions. This is what JD Vance, Donald Trump's running mate, said about this just yesterday.
Actually, I wanted to go and say hello to the journalists who are traveling along with the vice president because I figured they must be lonely because Kamala Harris doesn't take any questions. And I want to just point this out before we let the media ask me some questions, that I think it's really disgraceful, both for Kamala Harris, but also for a lot of the American media that participates in this stuff, to have a person who's been the presumptive nominee of the Democrat Party for 17 days and refuses to take a single question from the American media.
So a lot of activities, no interviews, as JD Vance points out. In contrast, former President Trump, since July 21st, has done, by our count, at least 5 interviews in that time, 3 with Fox News. There was another with the New York Post, and, of course, the National Association of Black Journalists panel there. He's held 4 rallies, which is about 1 every single week. Now, look, if there is pressure from the media for Kamala Harris to do interviews and change her style, it doesn't appear as though the campaign is feeling it right now. And one reason may just be the poll numbers. If you take a look, she's not necessarily being punished for this. In fact, she has closed the gap significantly in polling. These are the battleground states. As you can see there, we won't go through state by state, but in most of them now between 1 or 2 percentage points, which is serious improvement from where Joe Biden was when he was the candidate. So the polling has been better for the Harris campaign, and the fundraising has also been significantly better. In fact, in just July, the campaign announced that they raised more than $300 million in that 1 month. They also say that does not even count $36 million they raised in the 24 hours that they announced Tim Walz to be her running mate. You contrast that with the Trump campaign in the same time has raised $138 million, which is still significant, but it's less than half what the other guys have done. So the incentive isn't there necessarily to make the Harris campaign change the strategy. Nonetheless, you got to imagine at some point she's going to have to face reporters and answer some questions.
Yeah, that's certainly what a lot of people think. Joe, is there any indication from either there at the White House or from the actual Harris-Walz campaign that the vice president will be doing any interviews anytime soon?
Nothing yet. And when the White House got the question, they sort of deflected, saying that's going to be a campaign issue. The campaign itself has not announced any interviews one-on-one or press conferences yet, but that's something that we're watching to see if that changes in the next couple of days or weeks.
All right, Joe Khalil live for us there at the White House. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.